Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. This is Yamal, the Great Millstone Camp here in DC. Back for another video. First and foremost, call halal Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, of course, once again, double honors. Go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who are well. Salutations also go out to the fellow Akim that are out there in the highways and byways, right, pushing the truth across the four corners of this earth. Right, being aided by, of course, numerous amounts of videos that go out on daily. And this is, of course, for edification, mainly to help wake up the remaining, hopefully elect of our people. All right, because it's about time to get the hell up out of here. All right, things are speeding up. You're seeing this demon, Trump, who you have to love the betrayal aspect of this because a lot of these rednecks and you know them people, the idiots that voted for this guy, were unaware that this guy converted to Judaism, all right, in 2017, and wow, I guess they're coming around to finding that out now. And it's a beautiful thing because a lot of this was done with the intention of hurting people such as myself, all right, and it backfired. All right, it backfired. Um, and now he's pushing for these immigrants that got, uppity. He's letting you know that now he's pushing to get naturalized citizens out of here. And the uh, way he's going to go about it is instead of going the usual route, which would the burden of proof would be on the government. Oh no, these slick bastards, what they're going the civil route, whereas the person has to hire the lawyer, all right, and of course, any kind of civil court, uh, the burden of proof is kind of, you know, uh, it's not as strict as the other route. That's what I'm trying to say. It's less about. Well, let's go into it because I don't want to leave out any, because that's what we do here. The burden of proof is different, criminal versus civil. All right, let's just clear this up. Let's see here. Criminal law deals with actions that are offenses against the state or public, where the government prosecutes the accused, potentially leading to penalties like imprisonment. Civil law, on the other hand, involves disputes between private parties, typically seeking monetary compensation or specific performance rather than punishment. So this is the route they're going to go. All right. Criminal law and civil law serve different purposes within the legal system. All right, and this is understanding their, let's see, civil cases initiated by private parties, plaintiffs who seek compensation or resolution of disputes. All right, and here's my point. I couldn't remember it verbatim. Requires a preponderance of evidence, meaning the evidence must show that something is more likely true than not. All right, and with criminal requires proof beyond a reasonable doubt. The highest standard is the legal system. All right, so these are some slick motherfuckers. But this is not what this video is about. This video is about, as you're going to see, this is the Amazing Lucas web page, and he did a video a few days ago. I'm a little late on this, and this is going to go into the art of Jiu-Jitsu. It's not, that far out of the way from what I just read you because all this is going to come into play. But that's not what this video is specifically about. What I mean by that is you got Candace Owens out here, and I'm not a fan of hers by any means. I just love the show that's being, this performance here, and seeing all this shit fall apart. racist pieces of shit. But and the point being, she's making a fool out of them, and she's beating them at their own game. And this supposed grieving widow, Erica Kirk, has not been sufficiently trained in the art of Jiu-Jitsu that I'm referring to. Right? For those of you that see the title, if I choose to put it up like that, understanding the art of Jiu-Jitsu or something like that. All right. I'm not talking about the physical martial art. All right. But we're going to get into it. I'm going to go ahead and let him cook here because he's going to do it, going to what he's going into. So here we go.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. Oh my goodness. So let me just start by saying, for every shirt sold, one of these shirts, this is, famous last words talking about black people, for every shirt sold, a portion of the proceeds will be going to support Turning Point USA. That's correct. Now, the only stipulation is Charlie Kirk has to pick up the money himself. Bruh, Lord in heaven. It really goes to show that everything that I've said about white conservative ignorance is true, because they have sent out the full force, the full right-wing force to attack one black chick, to attack Candace Owens. You're telling me that they don't have anyone on payroll, no one on payroll that can take out Candace Owens, figuratively speaking, of course. You're telling me you don't have anyone? I've seen Tim Pool. They've gotten Liz Wheeler. They've gotten Jack Posobiec. They've gotten Alex Jones. They've gotten Nick Fuentes. The list goes on of people who are constantly trying to attack Candace Owens. It's gotten so far where she's even saying that, hey, a lot of the comments are bots. And I would very much agree.
A military-grade psychological operation, complete with influencers and botted activity on social media. We're so let down. It's over. I'm never watching the show ever again. Candace took money. The people can see what you're doing, feds.
See, these are the games these people play, Now, these, strangely enough, are people that she was in cahoots with. They seemed, and that's the key word there, seemed, all right, to get along with each other. All right. But this is further proof that, hey, when it says never trust that enemy, all right, first of all, you have to recognize that they are your enemy. But here we go. And he's right. They're all, if this is to be believed, because I'm not truly convinced that, this is not a show. But let's get back to the video.
Listen, I will say, I am no fan of Candace Owens. Y'all know that. I know that. I'm no fan of TPUSA. Y'all know that. I know that. I'm looking for mutual destruction. All right. If TPUSA gets destroyed and Candace gets destroyed and Charlie Kirk's not here, bro, that would be, I would believe Santa's real. All right. That's what I would believe, because that would be an amazing Christmas present. Damn. I think the conspiracy theories are amazing. I think them fumbling, damage control on Candace Owens is amazing. I think her erection, her origin story, and how she has been Jiu-Jitsu trained by the same companies, by the same.
This is the type of Jiu-Jitsu I was talking about. Prager, Shapiro, and Kirk. All right. And where they got their, their instruction. That's a hell of a fucking picture to have in your head. But let's keep going.
Same people that are now attacking her is just poetic justice. So I hope it all explodes. Just so we're clear. I don't want people to think, oh, Lucas, you like Candace? No. That's not what's going on here. That being said, they are fumbling the bag horrendously. every single attack, what they have to understand is that you set these rules. Do they not get it? You set these rules. For every single person that goes out and attacks Candace Owens, for every single person that calls her to the C word, for every single person that just, it comes off as her being right. Do you want to know why? Because that's the rule you set. You set that rule with Trump. Did you not? When it came to any criticism levied against Trump, where they say, oh, this is TDS, this is Trump derangement syndrome. When it came to January 6th, oh, you guys are attacking him because he's right. When it came to him getting yeeted off of Twitter, oh, they're attacking him because he's right. Okay, they're silencing him because of what he said is the truth. That's what they're doing. This is how they framed everything that he's done. Do you understand? That he can do no wrong. That for every person that's attacking him, that in and of itself is proof that he's telling the truth. That is in and of itself a proof that he's on the right track. If he's triggering the libs, that it's in and of itself that he's doing the right thing. This is the standard y'all set. So now you think by having all your goons attack Candace Owens?
You know who's really close to President Trump, and you know who people are now saying stood to gain? Well, Charlie's wife. Erica Kirk, who has now been put, Candace with that language, with this accusation, has put the wife of Charlie Kirk, and she'll say, that's not what I tried to do. It is. It's the result.
And now the second most damaging thing we're looking at is Candace Owens burning down everything he built and now having the gall to go after his grieving widow and his children, indirectly threatening their livelihoods.
No, that's probably what they wanted. And they were probably banking on anything she came out with to be perceived as, oh no, because, you know, they love playing the victim. All right. They just love it. And it could have easily backfired on a Candace Owens if that were the case. But it didn't go that way. All right. Because they can't play that card now. It's just, she's still a grieving widow. You know, despite her being at the forefront, you know, and clearly everybody can see through her bullshit now. You know, the napkin or handkerchief, whatever the fuck it is, that's always to the eye with no tears, you know. But again, these are people that are used to this shit of because what? They're hypocrites, they're actors, they're deceivers by nature. So it's just refreshing to just be able to sit back and just look at this and just see through this. All right, this is part of this Jew-Jitsu. All right, and that Candace is beating them at their own game. Let's continue.
What Charlie built?
Millions of followers did a breakdown of just the planes and the data that she was given that she believes she checked out. And I'll give it to her. I don't know how to check this out, but they've had experts check it out. And what she said was 66%.
Off the moon.
Seeing you have to understand when we all
Inaccurate.
That's going to
never trust these people. You can't. And once you are able, all right, to see them for who and what they truly are, it's so much easier to just see it for what it is. Bullshit. And for that, you have to understand, Charlie Kirk and them, that's why I was laughing at that video, that picture earlier when I froze it, in their Jiu-Jitsu gis. You have to understand, they were all educated.
And you will say, what?
Ben Shapiro, this is one of his, how am I going to say? This is who he learned from. Let me see if I name. Damn it. Forgot her damn name. That's why I was looking here. Let's see. Damn it. Because I had this saved and what was the woman's name? She's in her 90s now. Well, no, she's 89. She's almost 90. Salaki.
What, you stupid turkey?
Let's try it. Here he is. Okay. Boom. Shouldn't be stealing people's shit. All right, let's try this again. Here we go.
And you will say, what? You want us to make you look good? That's not my job. Your job is to make us look good. Our job is not to make you look good, American Jews. We don't train for defensive warfare. If the war against Israel ever had to be fought on Israeli soil, do I have to tell you? It's an impossibility. So it's the same thing. Don't let the war of words ever be fought about Israel's nature. Let it be fought about why you can't accept Israel, why you have to single out this tiny people. Try to find Israel on the map. It's hardly there. You know, we used to play this game.
Because we're so small and tiny and not threatening. How could you? How dare you pick on us? In the meantime, behind the curtain, they're running everything. See, October 7th, 2023, really was the last nail, one of the last nails in the coffin, all right, for these people, because everybody, you couldn't miss it even if you tried. Everybody saw what this is all about and how much shit they can get away with. Because why? They control the media. All the important, essential things to be. Think about how any other people, how difficult it would be to get away with the shit that they've gotten away with. We're just talking about the last 2 years. 2 years and 2 months. And they say they don't run anything. Think about that. But because of this Jew-Jitsu that I'm referring to, this is how they get away with it. So you have to be properly instructed. The chosen victims, this is what we're talking about. The chosen victims. But it's wearing thin. Why do you think Netanyahu, Bibi, all right, is in like panic mode? Why do you think that shit that happened down in Australia that everybody's like laughing at? All right. Again, you can see right through this shit. So it reeks of desperation. So I'm telling you, these motherfuckers are going to do something really stupid here. Especially here in America. This Charlie Kirk thing, he had to go because you gotta understand, to win over the hearts and minds of these racist ass juvenile Edomite / white kids, that was huge, and it is still huge. But even they're questioning what's going on. That's why you're seeing a push to try to do away with the First Amendment here in America. That's how big this is. But these weakling Americans, I gotta say it like that. All right. Land of the free, home of the brave, yeah, whatever. Land of the free, whatever. You let a foreign country take you over. It's done at this point. Because anything they say goes. They got the president. I mean, and it's out there for everyone to see. He even admitted to it. staying in a not quite in jest, but he was like, it was one of those scenes where it's like, blink twice if you need help, if you understand what I'm saying. Uh, like I said, 2017, but this woman right here, Ruth Weiss, whatever, how you pronounce her last name. All right, she's known for shit like this. This is where they were instructed in how to sound, portray themselves as the victim, and people buy. You know how much money they get, and you have to understand, America, shit didn't happen to you over here. It happened over in Europe. And there's this documentary. A few years ago, it was I can't remember the name of it, but it was showing how these Christian camps, schools, and all this, they were collecting money to send it to. I always see these commercials, not just cringe. I just changed the channel. What's it called? Oh man, I'm trying to remember the initials now. Goddamn. Oh man, let's see. What is that called? Let's see. Let's see. International. Wait a minute. Is that what it is? Hold on. Let's see. This is it. There it is. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. All right, which have been known to be iffy. That's her. Her father died. Ariel, whatever her name is. I mean, it's. But they were showing how fanaticized that they were. I can't remember the name of that documentary. It was a few years back. But these are the people that they were trying to, win over the hearts and minds of, because they know that they're going to support them in their endeavors over there. All right, let's go back to the video.
To make her look bad? No, dingus. That makes y'all look like you're attacking her. That falls right into her narrative. That, hey, this is bigger than what I assumed it to be. That, hey, this has to have Israel involved. This has the French involved. This has the U.S. involved. This has TPOSA involved. That's what it falls into. Because there's no reason for all these simpletons to be attacking her. Now, I know the reason. It's because it's conservative Inc. That's how that works. Everyone, as long as everyone's getting paid, okay, whether Tim Pool gets paid, Crowder gets paid, I can't believe he's still around. As long as all these goofies get paid, mum's a word, right? They weren't even thinking about Charlie Kirk. How they were planning to use Charlie Kirk was to use it as a shield going forward, was to use it as a stepping stone, as a step for them to garner more fundraising, for them to garner more money, for them to garner more votes. That's how they were planning to use his demise. Erica Kirk gets in there. She's going to play ball, all right? We have no issues with her trying to give us pushback. Everything was going on track. What they did not account for was the Jew-Jitsu trained Sith Lord that went.
I just got to freeze it there for a moment. Oh, man. The art, the spirit, the fight. Oh, boy. I got to give it to her, though. On its face, it looks like, she's, like I said, she's beating them at their own game. All right. She's always composed. She doesn't, let anger, anything you would associate with a typical black woman. That's not her. All right. until you, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the video offhand. Was it Savvy Sav? Yeah, she did a video where she Tim Pool, who he just mentioned, he was going hard at her, and you see the emails going back and forth, and he said something about, well, you didn't specify this, and so and so and so, and she texted him back and said, I did, bitch. I mean, it's like I say, it's funny to see this shit because she's beating them at their own game. Now let's go from there to Savvy Saps out of Boston and pick up here because Ben Shapiro, like she says here, he's finished. All right.
Ben Shapiro is done. Ben Shapiro, in my opinion, is officially done. He had his ass handed to him over the weekend, starting off with America Fest. I covered the story about him and Tucker kind of going back and forth at America Fest. Ben Shapiro started the drama. He had to take it there by coming onto the stage and calling people out for not going along with his pro-genocide agenda, his Israel agenda. So he called out names. And one of those names that he called out who was present that night to speak was Tucker Carlson. And Tucker Carlson, in my opinion, he handed Ben Shapiro his ass, in my opinion. But America Fest has continued, and now others have come forward to call out Ben Shapiro. Started off here with Steve Bannon came in, and apparently Steve Bannon had some things to say about Ben Shapiro. Now, let's not forget, Steve, we haven't forgotten your pictures in the Epstein files either. I ain't forget. I did not forget. But listen to what he said about Ben Shapiro.
Now, Benji Shapiro sat up here last night, and he was all, I'm going to, it's all about the truth. Ben, I know you. Now, Benji Shapiro sat up here last night, and he was all, I'm going to, it's all about the truth. Ben, I known you a long time, brother. You can't handle the truth. Let's face it, Ben Shapiro is the farthest thing from MAGA. Let's be blunt. He is a hardcore never Trumper. He's a hardcore never Trumper. In the spring of 16, he tried to upend Breitbart. He walked off the job, made a big deal about some incident in Mar-a-Lago with Corey Lewandowski. He tried to turn it to Ted Cruz from Donald Trump because he hated Donald Trump.
That's true. And some people may have forgotten about that. During Trump's first presidential run, Ben Shapiro was not in support of Donald Trump. He is still conservative, but he was one of those never Trumpers. Eventually he did get on board with Donald Trump and Trump's agenda. But I think sometimes people forget about that. Ross says he looks like Benjamin Franklin. Why? Oh my gosh. I have the funniest chat.
In the general election, he barely supported Donald Trump. The first sign of when President Trump gets sent back to Mar-a-Lago, the very first individual that jumped on the Ron DeSantis train, the Israel First train, was Ben Shapiro. And those are the...
And that commenter that just posted this comment, let them fight, is absolutely right. That's what I've been saying. Why get involved? This is Isaiah 19. All right, Mark 3 and 24 on down. It's division. This is all the Most High is doing. All right. Most of these assholes are what? They're hypocrites, and it tells you here. Let's get it. We're in that time. This is Job. All right. The wicked will suffer. These people are the wicked. All right. Job 20:4 says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, all right, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. The joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Even though it seems, and as the scriptures keep going, when we go into Psalm 73rd chapter, it appears that the wicked are prospering in all this, but no. All right. That's what's not actually going on. All right.
The darkest days we had in 21 and 22, you guys were there. He's consistently been against Trump, and now that President Trump doesn't back the Greater Israel Project. What is Greater Israel? It's not about Israel itself. It's about an expansionist Israel, an imperial Israel that Netanyahu and that crowd have thought up. And the Israel First crowd is Ben Shapiro, Tel Aviv Mark Levin, and many others that want to put that ahead of America's interests.
Like I said, hypocrites. How many of them that talk like this actually have sold out? They just don't want you to know that.
But see, some of us tried to tell you guys, even during the 2024 election. I said, well, both Kamala and Donald Trump are pro-Israel. I was really hoping that would be a time for third parties to really break through. But I don't know, a lot of people ended up staying home. And that's just the reality, right? So Steve Bannon coming after Ben Shapiro again. Ben Shapiro started this. For those who are just joining, he started it. So things could have gone very differently. And then now Megyn Kelly is speaking out against Ben Shapiro.
We deliver on that trust, and our clients are vocal about the positive impacts AwardForce continues to have on their awards programs.
You mentioned him, and your name came up on this stage last night in regards to pretty much all of this. Would you like the opportunity to respond?
Well, I found it kind of funny that Ben thinks he has the power to decide who gets excommunicated from the conservative movement, which shows a willful blindness about his position in it. It reminded me a little of when the girl who was the head of our middle school chorus told me she was going to take all my friends away from me. Chorus? A head cheerleader maybe, but
that just goes to show you how childish this behavior is. I called it out about a year ago. I called Ben Shapiro a gatekeeper, and we have gatekeepers on the left too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's gatekeepers all over. But he seemed to be the one that was trying to tell people what you must believe, what you must support, especially when it came to Israel. That's the big divide. Ben Shapiro is blaming Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson for dividing the MAGA movement about Israel. And I said, well, no, that movement started to divide because of Israel's actions, because Israel was killing children, and we could see the images everywhere. Like all of us in the world could see the images everywhere. So obviously, they weren't expecting support from the left, but Israel knew that they had that established support with at least evangelical Christians that are part of the conservative movement.
Remember what I said earlier? That's a big thing. They had the support of these Christians, these conservative Christians. That's a huge pool, all right? Well, we've got their support, so we can continue to get aid, whether it's in the form of money, weapons, or both, anything. And that's what this is about.
After these images repeated, for over 2 years, people started to change their mind and be like, wait a minute, this is ridiculous. Like they are really they're just trying to kill whatever, whoever. They don't care about these kids. And then, the rhetoric that was coming from the Israeli ministry and
Jew-Jitsu.
And the cabinet members as well, where they were saying that they wanted to get rid of all of them. So Ben Shapiro is blaming podcasters instead of blaming his beloved Israel, which is so fitting for him, right? But it's childish behavior, what he's doing.
So I resent the whole thing. I object to the whole thing. Ben and I, he had the nerve to call me a friend right before he called me a despicable coward for not calling out the people he once called out. So he both wants to parent me and be my child. He wants to tell me what I have to do and who I have to say what to. And then when I don't, he and some of his friends want to act like utter victims because I won't do what they say. They need me. I have to be their daddy and step in to protect them. And I am not their daddy. And I resent that he thinks he's in a position to decide who must say what to whom and when. Thank you. So I don't think we are friends anymore. I've been a very good friend to Ben. Nobody knew who the heck Ben Shapiro was when I started putting him on my shows on the Fox News channel. And I helped make him a star. And I've been very, very good to Ben over the years. And he's been good to me too. He just recently came on my tour, as did you. And I gave him the most kind introduction I could possibly give him because I know that he's losing subscribers a lot. Woo! And so I tried to do something nice for him by giving him a long 10-minute intro and personally vouching for him. And we mixed it up on Israel out on stage. It wasn't Israel because we're on the same place on Israel. We mixed it up over whether Tucker Carlson should be excommunicated from the conservative movement, which I do not believe. And thank you. And when it was over, we hugged, said goodbye, and then we had a nice text exchange a couple days later saying our friendship was important to us. And the next thing I saw was him attacking me on stage last night as a coward. So that's not friendship. And I think that's fine with me, with friends like that.
We'd all like to get a little more out of life.
See, the thing is, it was so easy before all this shit came crashing down. All right, to blame everything on the poor old nigga, so-called blacks. You know, well, they're the welfare queens and all that other shit. You know, but lo and behold, all the money that is wasted is going to them folks. They're bragging about them being able to collect. I mean, you're so quick here in America to say, we don't want socialism because...
Basically Gideon, right? Yes. I know you're big.
Salaki. Because, all the money being wasted is going to, socialism excuse again, but if there's anybody that's enjoying socialism, it's those Israelis at America's expense. And more and more people are finding that out. Their kids they get a check up until they're 18 or something like that. They get free health care. All right, they get all these handouts that you accuse the blacks. All right, and all this shit is backfiring on me. It's beautiful to see because now you're seeing all the lies, all right, that were told on us, about us, all right, that you actually didn't benefit as much as you thought from, all right. That's why it's such a beautiful thing to be, as it says in Sirach, or Ecclesiastes chapter 25, 7, seeing the downfall of our enemy. All right, back to you.
So Megyn Kelly is no longer friends with Ben Shapiro. Ben is going to end up in the timeout corner. He's going to be like that one kid in class that was always sitting in timeout and people didn't really want to be around him, always pushing everybody away. Ben Shapiro has turned into that person. So it's not just Tucker Carlson who clapped back at him. Megyn Kelly's mad at him. Steve Bannon has an issue with him. And of course, because he said some things about Candace Owens during that America Fest, well, she had some things to say about him. This is where the comedy comes in, because get ready to laugh. Like, I was laughing my ass off at some of this, and I have some pictures for us to laugh at too.
When it comes to you and having worked with you, I just know I just know the tactics that you use to feign popularity in the public. I just know the amount of money that you are willing to spend on advertising to inflate your numbers to make people think that you're popular.
Damn. Let's go back a little bit. Hold on. Because did I show you what he... Okay, let me show you what he said for those who didn't hear.
So, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk casting aspersions at TPUSA and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer, and yes, at Erica Kirk, and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder, to spew absolutely baseless trash implicating everyone from French intelligence to Mossad to members of TPUSA in Charlie's murder or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name.
But he never said this to her face, right? Because there were multiple opportunities that Candace gave Ben Shapiro for a debate. There were multiple opportunities. When he fired her from the Daily Wire, she was open to having a debate. He was like, has to be this day, this time in person. Same thing that TPUSA did recently, by the way. I was like, oh, same tactic. But there were multiple.
They invited her, unbeknownst to her at the time, to have a live sit down. All right, she was supposed to fly out to where they were. She was saying no. Well, once she was aware of it, and she told him, she said, why am I just seeing this? And I had to learn of it on X. You know, yeah, they tried to, in my opinion, they tried to set her up. Said, why was it necessary for me to come there in person? We could have did, you know, however they do it, Zoom, whatever, you know, remotely. They do it all the time. Yeah, that's been going on.
Chances where Ben could have done that. So I felt like what he did here was also kind of cowardly, where like he was willing to do that on stage in front of an audience, but he wasn't willing to say this to her face. And he knew she wasn't there to defend herself. So her response to him was this.
So no, Tucker Carlson, it is not an excuse to go silent on Candace's targeting of TPUSA. Or to mirror her bullshit lines of questioning because you love Candace personally. The same holds true of Megyn Kelly, a person I consider a friend, characterizing Candace as a young mother and thus shying away from condemning her actions or fibbing about them. That is a non-starter. When Candace Owens says, I don't know, but I know, that is retarded. And we are all more retarded for having heard it.
Well, Ben, when it comes to you and having worked with you, I just know the tactics that you use to feign popularity in the public. I just know the amount of money that you are willing to spend on advertising to inflate your numbers to make people think that you're popular. So, yeah, I don't have to say we don't know when it comes to you.
So now it makes me wonder if all those people were actually watching Ben Shapiro, the numbers that he has, because I showed you guys before that he's been losing subscribers. Like they just been dropping like flies because of his, his Israel position. And even in the comment section of a lot of his videos, like his own followers were going against him and like, what are you doing? This ain't it. You know what I mean? So now this is all starting to make sense because she's saying that he has been inflating his numbers, which possibly is the case. And here's the thing I want to say. People show you who they really are. Because at one point, all of these people were supposedly friends with Candace. At one point, all these people, Ben and Alex and all of them, they were all buddy with her. She was a part of the Daily Wire. They loved Candace back then when she was going along with their, marching to their beat and doing what they wanted her to do when she was supporting Israel. They loved Candace Owens then. But the moment that she decided to disagree, and at that time, it was just it was one issue. It was Israel. The moment she decided to disagree, they're like, oh no, not only does she have to go, but we really need to take her down. When I tell you guys, I don't trust these motherfuckers. This is what I'm talking about. I don't trust a lot of these people. I don't trust a lot of these mofos. People will be buddy and rub elbows and stuff with you as long as you are doing and saying what they want you to do. The moment you start to have a different opinion, they'll not only try to smear you, they'll shun you, and they'll try to make sure that they end you. Lawsuits, ending careers, etc. I've seen some things. And that's on both sides, by the way. I've seen that with right-wing YouTubers, and I've seen that with left-wing YouTubers. One thing that I've learned in particular in this space is you got to be careful who you shake hands with. You have to be careful who you collaborate with. Now, Candace, going back 4 or 5 years ago, she probably never would have had any idea that these people would turn on her the way that they did. But here we are.
You are such a joke of a little man. Your jealousy against Tucker, your ability to believe that you can keep manipulating the markets. You know those kids booed you on that stage. The amount of messages I got from Turning Point USA people saying, what is happening? Why is he on this stage? Standing against everything that Charlie believed in. So that's what you're doing. You're standing against everything that Charlie believed in because you weren't his friend. He didn't like you for that very reason. I look at you and I just think you are such a little worm. I could see you right now, probably. What can we get out to her? And we're going to sue her into bankruptcy again, right? Sue her for every infraction, every word that I don't like, and every time my feelings are hurt. Because what you really believe in is Baal Barith. That's what your people believe in. You believe that you are contract lords and that people are not allowed to violate contracts or you will ruin them for years. You fire someone and you effectively stalk and harass them for years after. I'm here to let you know that I'm done with it. I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, fuck you and the midget horse that you rode in on.
It's a midget horse. I'm sorry, but it's hilarious. Oh, we got horses popping up. You guys, maybe Ben Shapiro has a Napoleon complex.
And I say that on behalf of the world. I know you're going to get applauded by Konstantin Kisin and Andrew Christ is King Clavin and all of the people, the men who have to keep applauding what you do like you're a 4-year-old to make you feel good. But the rest of the world can't stand you. You're obnoxious. You have absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew. And I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all black people.
Oh, so this part is really interesting. She said he hates.
And we've been trying to tell you people out there for the longest. You need to read that, if you can tolerate it, that Talmud. This is what these people that profess themselves to be Jews, this is what they're about. They have nothing to do with the scriptures, with the Bible. That's just a front. They are Talmudists. These are converts. All right? They have nothing to do with the ancient Israelites. And I could go in further, but that's a whole nother video.
It's all black people. I mean, I never thought Ben Shapiro liked black people, to be honest with you. That's why I never really understood why Candace was with them, why she was a part of the Daily Wire. He always gave me those kind of vibes, you know? You know how some people you can just kind of tell, you know? He just always kind of gave me those vibes. And I was just like, I don't really think this guy is like, yeah, I don't think, no. One thing I always felt is that Ben Shapiro cares and worries about himself. That Ben Shapiro was looking out for himself. And now here's the thing, because this is the thing we got to bring up. Where did it go? I lost it. I remember it. That's okay. How long did Candace feel this way?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Did Candace feel, there it is. Decisive said, didn't Candace know that when she worked there? That's the question. How long did she feel this way? Did she know all that time that she was working with him that he didn't like black people? Did she know this is really how he was? Here's the thing. This is what I said before about working with people within this space. Sometimes people come up to you and they may offer you a great deal. I've turned them all down. I'm glad I have. You never know what you could be getting yourself into. And some people are sitting back and they're saying, well, why didn't Candace say this when she was working with them? Well, people are like, well, they probably would have fired her. Yeah, but they fired her anyway. And she didn't say that. So that's the next question that people are asking. Like, why, if you knew that, did you know that then? And why did you defend them? Why did you stay along with this team? So that's the question a lot of people have. But when the levee breaks, I mean, you know, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I am. When the levee breaks, we gotta it's like, when the levee breaks,
Fuck you and the
you know, I was trying to imagine, what does this midget horse look like? And that's a one, you know? And here's the thing, the horse is cute. It's an adorable horse. But I mean, and it's, there's other horses that are out there like this one. I don't know. There's the castle back there. Hey, yo, Silver, and just riding in on the horse. They gave him a wig. I'm sorry. I got one more. I got one. I got one. I'm sorry. I got one more. Hold on. And I think we can drop the beat to this one, right? People are so wrong. Let me pull up the beat. We're going to drop the beat to this one. People are so wrong because they... Should we do pressure? Wait.
Let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. A moment can live on forever.
A moment can live on forever. Because see, here's the thing. Ben brought this on himself. Ben Shapiro could have came out onto that stage and he could have talked about like his future for Turning Point USA, etc., 2028, whatever. But he decided to make it personal. And so that's where this comes from. That's where this comes from. So,
yeah, that's gonna do it. Let's get this one last scripture here. This is gonna be Job. Job 34 and 30. It says, let's see. This is Job 34 and 29. When he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who can behold him? Let you know this is by the Most High's design. What's going on here? He's bringing this man down out of his power seat. We're in the 2nd Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter now. It tells you that, I believe it's in verse 7. I'll get it after this. It says, when he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only, that the hypocrite reign not, lest the people be ensnared. And I mentioned 2nd Thessalonians because he's being revealed. All right, 2nd Thessalonians 2. Let's see. Again, let's start at 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, which is what's happening. All right, the son of perdition or destruction, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. That's certainly the people that we're talking about, the nation of Edom, the self-professed white people, the banking elite. All right. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now ye know that what withholdeth that he might be revealed is time. Verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And again, that's what's happening now. And I mentioned earlier in this Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 7. So let's get that real quick because I only quoted the end of that. But let's go to Sirach 25 and 7. We'll end it on this. It says, there be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And that's certainly where we are at, despite the humor in this. It's very serious. This man has been able to deceive the whole world, as it said in Revelation chapter 20. All right, this is a deed, and it also points you as to who we're talking about. Who else, if not him? Who is it, as it says in Job 9 and 24? All right. Who the else? Who the fuck else are we talking about? But again, you can't. All this evidence, and so many people are still blinded. Again, that's the work. Yahweh Shah. All right. So with that, until the next video, again, we're talking about the art of Jew-Jitsu. All right, not this, which I pulled up. Not this form of the Hebrew hands of fury. Wah! You gotta have a little fun with it. All right. So with that, until the next video, hey, shalom.